I've generated $367,000 in the last 3 months for my clients with webinars only. And here's exactly how I did it. In this video, I will show you every single thing that I know about webinars and how I've managed to generate multiple six figures for my clients in the last months, right? So I will literally hold nothing back, meaning if you're a new subscriber, this will be insanely valuable for you, right? My name is Simon Azeman. All we talk about here on this channel is scaling your high ticket business to 6 to 7 figures. So no matter if you're a coach right now, if you're an agency owner, if you're selling SaaS, whatever, if you're already running webinars, if you never ran a webinar before, in this video, I will lay down the exact blueprint on how we've generated $367,000 in the past, right? So I will break down the exact funnel architecture that we use across all of our client accounts. I will show you the landing pages we use, the lead magnets, the confirmation pages, the exact breakout video structure. I will show you our one-time offers called the fast track that we sell on our webinars, at what price we sell them, why we design them that way. I will show you the exact presentation that we've used across various clients. It's the exact same framework we follow there, even up to 30, 40 slides that I've prepared for you. I will show you the ads we run, direct response ads, hammer them ads, reminder sequences, like literally every single thing that you need right now to run your very own, very profitable webinar campaign. No matter if that's cold, warm, or whatever. I want to say the $367,000 they generated are mainly from cold webinars, which are a bit more difficult to run because obviously the lead intent is lower, okay? So if you're a subscriber already, welcome back, my friend. I've got a massive banger for you. And without further talk, let's dive right in. Okay, so in the past, I've partnered with dozens of clients in the high ticket industry. Okay, I run B2B webinars, cold webinars, warm webinars in every significant niche that you can think of. Here just a couple of them, right? We're currently spending $20,000 a week on ads for webinar campaigns. Very soon, this will be $30,000 a week. And we're consistently seeing a 4, 6, 8, or even a 10x return on our ad spend, okay, through our webinar campaigns. Our flagship webinar has generated us $135,000 in cash collected, right, in the first week, cash collected on an 18K ad spend. Overall, $167,000 revenue. And I promise you guys, there was a lot more revenue coming in on the back end of this webinar, weeks, months after this webinar, because it was such a massive nurturing asset. But because of our contract, we stay with $135,000 here. We're currently scaling multiple clients with 0 following to more than 6 figures a month using the exact same webinar funnel system. For example, one of our clients has partnered with another agency before, burned 50K on webinar campaigns that didn't work out. Now we went in there in December, and now in February, we already hit our first 6-figure month, as you can see over there, right? So literally, I know what I'm talking about, what I want to say with this. And these are real results that got produced through the exact system that I'm sharing here in this video. Okay, so without further talk, guys, let's talk about funnel architecture first. In this video, we will follow a different structure, okay? Well, funnel architecture is basically the entire funnel from landing page to thank you page, and then obviously webinar presentation. So basically the first thing that our leads see and when they hit our landing page, right? So essentially, this is the exact landing page that we're currently running for one of our clients. This is the exact landing page, right? Just literally took a screenshot from there. And as you can see, we've got our headline, we've got our sub headline, a VSL, some urgency elements, agenda section, proof, lead magnet. And now I want to run you through how you can do this exactly for your very own offer and what you should be aware of, because all the words that are there on this landing page are selected very, very, very carefully, okay? So your headline must always talk to your market's awareness level. With our headline, we wanted to talk to serious, rich individuals with money to invest. So as you can see over there, our headline is simply live from a warehouse. Okay, this is obviously the situational webinar element in there that creates a bit of urgency. How you can build a profitable Amazon wholesale business selling everyday products. Okay. And there's a subheadline and extra spending income and more time with your family without investing more than 15 hours a day. So as you can see in the headline, we want to resonate with affluent, needs convinced messaging. And I'm going to break down a bit in a second what all this means. So as you can see, there are no hype words in there. There's no guarantee. There's no time frame, not something like in 2 months, how you can make $10,000 in 2 months. It's literally a very neutral headline that promises the outcome, which is building a profitable Amazon business, and then kind of relates you with a bit of authority, like Clorox is a well-known brand in the Amazon space, and kind of explains the business model, right? But there's nothing like a fancy income claim in there. And this is intentional because we want to mainly target people who are already selling on Amazon, or people who are in a position in their corporate job and who are looking to get into Amazon right now. Okay. And obviously, when we have an ad and people click on our ad and then see our landing page, we want them to know exactly what's up. So when they land on our page, they clicked on an ad with the ad said something like, click below to learn exactly how you can build your very own profitable Amazon business. And they click on the landing page where the headline is, learn how to build your profitable Amazon business. It resonates. This is what we call messaging congruency. And this is what a lot of you guys are doing there, from what I can see when I'm funnel hacking you guys, right? So essentially, we want to target this market demographic, which is the needs convinced demographic. It's not the 4% in-market demographic that I'm always preaching in my videos. And the reason is it's a webinar. And the webinar gives us more room to go with a broader targeting where we generally see lower cost per millis because we have a broader targeting with our angles, and we're tapping into a broader market simply with more potential leads. So for example, our broader targeting would here be people who are already thinking about Amazon, who already did Amazon in the past, who know that e-commerce is a good chance, who maybe try drop shipping, who are working a strong corporate role and want to earn extra spending income with a side hustle. This is our demographic. We aren't currently not targeting the in-market demographic, which would be customers who are already running a successful Amazon business and are looking to scale, or who are struggling with a certain bottleneck in their Amazon business. Okay, we are not targeting these guys with a webinar. In a WSL, yes, we do. Okay, and a more in-market headline would be something like let's say I wanted to run an in-market webinar, which we could definitely experiment with. My in-market headline would be something like, learn how to scale your Amazon wholesale business, right? Scale, it isn't build over there, as you can see. Your implies they already have a business through virtual assistants and AI software, which is kind of like a unique mechanism, as you can see, and automate 85% of your daily tasks. And this is only appealing to people who have an Amazon business and have the pain of a lot of tasks, because people who didn't even start yet won't care about automating it, right? A bad broke headline would be something like, learn how anyone can make $3.5 million on Amazon in 30 days using my AI system, guaranteed results. And I swear 80% of the headlines mainly in the info product space sound like this. Okay, so remember, in all of our funnels, at every single stage of the funnel, we implement messaging that filters out poor leads, and we only want to talk to serious people with money to invest. I don't care if a person who clicks on this headline is in my funnel. I don't want these guys in my funnel, okay? Right. So the subheadline talks to our ICP's desired outcome. We remind them of why they actually clicked on our link and their deep cravings in their subconscious mind. Like, why do they actually want to sell on Amazon? For example, what is the deep desire in their mind? And I want you to remind you guys of the 8 desires that are connected to our human nature. Okay, all of us have these desires, right? And if you don't have them, maybe you already got replaced by AI, or maybe there's a clone of you rocking around, whatever, I don't know, right? But essentially, we have the desire of survival, right? enjoyment of food and drinks, sexual companionship, freedom from fear, pain, danger. We want to live a comfortable life, comfortable living conditions. We want to be superior of others, and we want to be seen as always winning. We want to protect our loved ones, and we want social approval as well. Obviously, we come from tribes, right? We want the social approval in our modern day tribe, which is our a bit fucked up society right now. Okay, so we want to essentially fulfill any of these 8 desires, and depending on our current conditions and circumstances, some of these desires might be more appealing. Let's say I'm single, I want sexual companionship. Let's say I don't have anything to eat, I want food. Let's say I'm currently hunting a tiger and the tiger attacks me, I want to survive. Let's say I'm currently not living in the best life. I have food, I'm alive, I have a partner, but it's not so comfortable. I see all the stuff online. I want a more comfortable life, right? Okay, so this is essentially what we do. And what I did, and the headline is essentially, I changed the headline to earn extra spending income and more time with your family without investing more than 50 hours a week, 15. And essentially, I changed this headline yesterday. Once again, this screenshot is 1 day old. So the new headline now is without building a second income, without building a second full-time job. You know why I did that? Because it implies that people already have a full-time job. A second full-time job, I mean. It implies that they already have a second full-time job, and obviously the highest pain that they associate to building a side hustle is building another job, right? This is even a bit more accurate than investing more than 15 hours a week, which might even attract a bit lower quality leads. So what we do over here, earn extra spending income, talks to comfortable life, talks to be superior, talks to social approval. More time with your family, talks to protection of loved ones, obviously, uncomfortable. Without investing more than 15 hours a week, talks to freedom from pain, okay? Because obviously this is painful. A more in-market subheadline would be something like, become a top 1% seller without spending thousands on ads, creating a brand from scratch or inventory that doesn't sell. This talks to struggles that people who already did sell on Amazon might have experienced and who wish they connect with having success on Amazon, right? And become a top 1% seller would obviously be talking to the be superior and a social approval needs. Okay, a bad broke subheadline would be something like steal my 7-figure system. It works for anyone, even for complete beginners with zero tech skills. Do you see what kind of lead quality I would attract with this subheadline? And remember, a pixel is operating on recency bias, meaning when I change the subheadline right now to this headline over there, and a lot of people click on these ads and resonate with this headline or subheadline, which is attracting brokies, I will attract more brokies. Okay, and this is why the headline and subheadline matters. So our subheadline talks always to the 8 desires that every person has, while simultaneously easing the pain that's associated with these exact outcomes. Okay. Now, the purpose of our registration WeSL, which you can see over there, right? We have a WeSL on this page. I know a lot of guys do not use a WeSL for webinar campaign. We do have it, and there's a reason for that. We've split tested, by the way, with a WeSL page and without a WeSL page, and we've seen higher lead quality with the WeSL page. That's why I'm always saying, don't trust everything that you see online. Don't believe everything. Always try to make up your own mind and your own data through split tests, for example, right? Now, the WeSL adds friction to your sales process and will increase your cost per lead. This is something we generally don't want, and we only want this in certain cases. However, our WeSL makes sure only qualified leads who identify with the ICP we talk to in the WeSL register and grab their free spot. Okay, so it helps condition our pixel with higher quality lead data that lastly beats a higher cost per lead through a lower cost per acquisition. So basically a cost per customer on the back end of the webinar. So keep a close eye at your landing page conversion rate. When you add the WeSL, it will be, if it's lower than 30%, remove that with your sales set. We're currently seeing a 37% Webby landing page conversion rate with our WeSL. Okay, Pro tip, what I can give you there is install a custom view with all important metrics in your ads manager. As you can see over there, that's my custom view. And I essentially have a click to conversion rate for Webby. This is the VSL over there. Still a very good cost right now for qualified schedule, but it doesn't have it because obviously that's a Webby metric. And the Webby landing page conversion rate over here, which is quite okay, right? So as I said, when you want to decrease the friction and lower the friction of your funnel, you want to remove the VSL when this is essentially your webinar landing page, right? Now, the registration VSL shouldn't be longer than 3 to 4 minutes and follow this exact structure. For example, when I click over there, you can see 3 minutes and 53 seconds, right? So this exact structure that you want to follow with this registration VSL is opportunity, where you introduce the main opportunity of what's currently going on, why it's such a big opportunity for your prospects to get in there. Then you dig into their pain points. You resonate with this pain through the founder story. You introduce proof of other people who are currently seeing results with what you're teaching. Then you show what you're teaching. You position your business model as a unique selling position in this overall industry. And then you show your unique sub mechanisms, the way how you operate differently from other people who are currently in the same vehicle, meaning they use, for example, the same business model. But what sets you apart, new approach of basically handling sub mechanisms of this overall big mechanism, right? Makes a lot of sense, I think. We're basically going to analyze everything right now. And then you break down the workshop agenda step by step, and you include a bit of urgency, so kind of limited spots or whatever, and a CTA to register. So let me run you through the structure right now, just to keep it in mind, right? So essentially, this is a workshop VSL for one of our clients. If you've got a laptop and you're based, remote sales is the biggest opportunity. You see opportunity you can take advantage of. Hundreds of people are taking advantage of this, making a lot of money. And then I explain the opportunity over here. Online coaches, e-commerce brands, software companies are desperate for English-speaking salespeople who can handle their inbound traffic, right? Makes a lot of sense. While people are trying to become a CEO and start business, even when they have zero experience, really learning one simple in-demand skill that keeps a billion-dollar industry running. Opportunity and shooting against people who started their own business, right? I would always start our own business, in my opinion, but yeah. So 4 years ago, I was a university dropout. Okay, I failed with this business model. This is shooting rocks, throwing rocks against enemies, and the founder story, as you can see over there, and a lot of pain, obviously, as well, because he's basically expressing his own pain. I lost a quarter of my savings. I failed. I dropped out of university. We could even remove this because it will attract lower quality leads who resonate with this. But it also obviously shows that you don't need to be special to have results with the software. You just need to have money to invest, right? But things changed when I discovered high ticket sales. I didn't need a crazy capital or start my own business. I just needed to dedicate myself to one simple skill. You see how often we frame sales as one simple skill. Work hard. Wasn't easy in my first month. Then he breaks down his journey. Okay. This isn't just me, by the way. Hundreds of certified students. For example, my client was working in hospitality because hospitality workers are one of our main ICPs that we want to target for a reason, guys. I will record a YouTube video on this soon. So he was probably in a similar situation. He didn't have freedom. He had a boss breathing down his neck. This is pain, right? We dig into the student's pain and basically want to have this pain resonate with our clients who might be in a similar situation right now. After he got trained, he applied and he had 100K. Then we have Bard Authority. He's now killing it on sales teams for Samuel Onuha and Sean Frimpong, right? This is Bard Authority. We say, look, we're working with these guys over there that you might have seen online who have millions of followers, right? And then this is working for everyone with good work ethic. This is kind of a qualifier. Again, guys in corporate sales, qualified ICP. So what is remote sales and digital deal making, which is essentially our unique sales position, unique sales position, selling point, and our unique sub mechanism. So then I break down what it is. Basically, again, we borrow authority from guys like Alex Hormozi, Iman Gadzhi, and Alex Eubank, getting millions of views, spending thousands of dollars in ads. They drowning in people who want to buy their services but don't have enough qualified salespeople to handle. That's where you come in. You connect high intent warm prospects with online businesses, bridging the gap between interest and sale, targeting anywhere between 5 to 15% in commission. Look how we want to transcribe it, make it very visual. You bridge the gap between interest and sale. We really don't want to dig too much into in-market language, saying something like, yeah, you're hopping on appointments, closing the deals, close rates, KPIs, targets, whatever. We really want to make it very, very simple. I don't even think we really emphasize that these guys are setters in there. No, right? Because we really want to, we say, yeah, you do this through Zoom calls, even just sales appointments, we get Instagram DMs working from your laptop, right? Make it very, very simple. Like we explained this business model in a very, very simple way. And then, okay, these guys are selling high ticket products. And then by registering from my workshop, you will discover what remote sales is and the billion industry, which is one of our main workshop pillars. The exact skills every $10,000 salesperson needs, how to get hired. Skills is pillar number 2, and how to get hired is pillar number 3, and how I can place you in front of 500 plus job opportunities. And guys, we're going to talk about all this in a second when we're going to come. This will be a long video, by the way. I hope you're prepared. When we're going to talk about the excitement section, where I'm basically pitching stuff and teasing stuff. We already teasing the offer that we will sell on the workshop in our VSL over there. Okay. And then this singular skill and opportunity changed my life and has changed many of my clients' lives. So click the button below to secure your spot for the free workshop. Okay. Click the button below. It's a literal CTA telling them exactly what to do. And don't wait too long, because spots are limited because of the software we're using to run the class. This is not just random urgency that most of these guys are using out there. Spots are limited. Yeah, wow. Why are they limited, right? I thought it's a free workshop. Yeah, because we have a software, which is literally the case with Webinar Jam, where on a certain plan, you can only have, for example, in our case, 2,000 attendees. Okay. And once we hit capacity, the registration closes and you'll have missed your chance. So I look forward to seeing you inside of the masterclass. And this is exactly how we follow this framework of opportunity, pain, founder story, student proof, unique selling position, unique sub mechanism, agenda breakdown, urgency, CTA. By the way, if you're interested in writing a general VSL for your current VSL funnel, this is a very good framework to use for your VSL. Obviously, we would then still add the crossroad option, kind of break the offer down a bit more, but still a very good framework to use. Okay. And remember, we add this VSL for better lead quality and intentional frictional sales process. Use UTM tracking and split tests with the non-VSL version so you can see which version actually performs better. Okay. With that being said, guys, let's head real quick to our registration form. So we have a very custom registration form. You can unfortunately not see it, but when I click there, we also have a sticky CTA, by the way, which is kind of like, let's say I'm here on this page for mobile, which is over here, and another CTA telling them like basically get my free ticket, right? And what we have over there is a custom registration form, right? We replace the traditional Webinar Jam embed code because the Webinar Jam embed code over there is not customizable with questions that we would like to have over there. When we do something like a Brokibate, this is something for another video, but basically a way how you can qualify a certain type of leads with certain capital, for example. And the Webinar Jam embed code also loads. Like when I click on this, it says something. I don't know why these guys did this. It's like, I don't know. I literally don't know why they did it. But it loads for like 1, 2, 3 seconds, checking availability, and then it kind of gives you the registration form. So this is a 3-second drop-off chance where a lot of people will drop off. And I'm telling you, the moment when we replace this Webinar Jam registration form with our own custom form, which is also an Instagram autofill. So meaning when someone registers from Instagram, we generally pull the name from the UTM data in there as well. The browser cache as well. Like basically when you use something like, when you're registering online and you have this autofill method with your name, email, phone number, and so on, we imply this as well in our form. And this helped us increase our landing page conversion rate from 30 to 40%. Just this form, okay? So we're using something like a custom webhook. Exactly. And then we customize the form and we add qualifying questions to it if we are struggling with low lead quality. And a very important thing, our contacts get stored in a backup database. This is because one time in our webinars on the long journey to hitting $367,000 for our clients, the automation broke. So what we guys did is I basically installed a database in the backend of our current server provider. So that basically every single lead who registered there is getting stored in the database. And I can even see the leads that registered months ago, okay, in this database because it's tracking so well. And then I can refire zaps, for example, if or make automations if something didn't work, right? Now, if that's a bit technical for you guys, just a small point on what's actually possible. Yeah, the next point here is the agenda section. As you can see, we've got our pillar 1, we've got our pillar 2, we've got our pillar 3, 4, 5, and the agenda section is probably one of the most important parts of this entire landing page, okay? We pre-tease what they're going to learn on the workshop itself. So before you ever launch a webinar, sit down and think about what the main 3 pillars of the presentation should be, okay? So all of these pillars should build upon each other. Yes, they are pillars, and none of them should be replaceable. When one pillar misses, the entire house breaks, okay? And the pillars should be the 3 main mechanisms that every attendee must know to have success with what you're teaching, okay? So it's basically the 3 fundamental sub-branches of your business model. For us, it's, for example, business model basics, product selection, supplier selection, and then automation, meaning scaling. As you can see, wholesale foundations, where we break down the business model, okay? 5-phase profit roadmap, okay? The exact step-by-step system that takes beginners to profitable sellers. This is product. Supplier shortcut strategy. Landing exclusive brand deals. Set and scale, how to automate, okay? And open Q&A at the end. So if we targeted a more in-market customer, we would obviously remove the business model basics because they are already in this business model. We would rather focus on AI automation, on virtual assistants, even on business funding, and especially on scaling, right? And we would make different pillars with these, and we would probably remove or probably getting lower prices, higher margins, for example, right? This could be another thing. So always make sure the pillar resonates with the awareness level of your customers, and I can stress this enough. When your webinar is talking to beginners, but you're targeting a more in-market audience, this happens a lot with warm webinars, by the way, or with more in-market messaging in your ads, your webinar will horribly fail. And I know this because it's happened one time for us in these last 3 or 4 months, and we still have managed to generate it much, which is insane. But yeah, then craft unique sub-mechanisms for each pillar. As you can see, we have the 5-phase profit roadmap. We have the supplier shortcut, the set and scale system, the 85% automation rule, for example, the delegation principle, the XYZ. For example, let me freestyle. Let's say you're selling AI automation or whatever. Pillar 1 could be, what could it be? Kind of like niche deep dive or stuff like that, where you're showing the niche that they should focus on. Pillar number 2 could be the AI automation formula. Pillar number 3 could be the client flywheel or whatever, how you're getting clients, right? These are the 3 pillars of building an AI agency, for example, right? Make it sound sexy and new so that people get excited hearing that. They're like, hell yeah, what's the supplier shortcut strategy? Don't be too fancy here, but make it logical, right? Okay, supplier, I want to get a supplier. There's a shortcut and there's a strategy to getting it, right? The set and scale system, I set it up and then I scale, right? Makes a lot of sense. It's logical, okay? It's no crazy name, okay? So in the proof section, we then leverage two different approval methods, actually three different approval methods. And this is basically the next section that we then have after our, now we still have the lead magnet. I'm going to talk about this in a second, but this is basically the proof section, which starts over here and then goes down until here. Okay, and we leverage basically founder proof, we leverage client win proof, and we leverage third-party proof as well. Okay, and in this page, I marked this one as yellow because in this page we unfortunately do not have third-party proof, but we will have it soon through a podcast. But yeah, however, in the founder section, we highlight business revenue, time in the trenches, client numbers, and we explain the story, as you can see, right? 500 successful students, $10 million in student revenue, $3.5 million in personal sales. This is just mainly authority. We want to present the founder as an expert on what they're teaching, okay? Now in the client section, we show testimonials with top and average students to sell the leads on themselves. We basically want to pick, include different demographics, different genders, different age groups, whatever, different professions, so that people who are in different life situations can resonate with one of these students and see, oh, this person was in a similar situation like I. Oh, this person was in corporate finance and it worked out. Oh, this person got burned before by another Amazon guru and it still worked out, right? Okay. And then we want to follow the interview structure. And this is basically, note this down, by the way, and this is something that you can use to create an SOP. Interviews aren't that hard, guys. You start with a casual introduction, right? Kind of like a relaxed atmosphere, joking around, kind of like if you'd be watching two friends talking. Then you start with their starting point. They explain their starting point, where they were at, right? What pains they had, how their life looked like, how they woke up, what they did from morning to night, where they failed, what kind of like the lowest points in their life and in their business journey. And then we want to highlight something like, fast forward to now, where are you at right now? And then he says something like, yeah, by the way, I'm running the profitable wholesale business, making like $20,000 a month. I absolutely enjoyed it. I just bought my dream car. I got the woman of my dreams. I remember the 8 desires over here when we highlight, right? For example, when we go back to the 8 desires over there, he would talk about, here, woman. He would talk about, yo, I'm out there eating in nice restaurants. I don't have to care about where my how I put money on the table. Okay, I'm doing all this in a few hours a week, right? I have no fear about my financial freedom. I'm living in a comfortable home right now. Okay, my family finally respects my Amazon. Like, you know what you can do there? This is why people care and why they actually want to achieve their outcome. And if you put this in your client interviews, you're literally showing people that other people are living their dream life in detail in a visual movie in their head. And this is what sets $1 million marketers apart from those who don't do it. Okay, we understand. I'm not the $1 million marketer yet, but I will be. And we understand what customers basically do. Touch wood, by the way. Yeah. So essentially, very important thing over here is what got them their next thing. What got them into this? Like, we present point A, present point B, and then we come down to the solution as the bridge. What got them there? Your coaching, your implementation, all the different parts of your coaching, all the different parts how you could help, how you help them. For example, you had a done for you service where you help them select the niche. You had a done for you service where you help them package the products or whatever, right? What they struggled with, how you help them. Would they have been able to do it on their own, right? No, obviously no. What they especially value about you and your program. The main objections they had before journey. This is very important. Like, try to pick objections that resonate with others. Did they make their investment back? Sure they did. What would they recommend to others? Okay? Describe, show their wins, even show their wins in the community so it's real that they are actually in your community right now and seeing results, and that you're not just paid an actor to do so, right? Because obviously there are people doing that. Now the third party section works if you've already been in well-known magazines, for example, or in podcasts or in shows. I love to always use, I'm using John Lee a lot here because this guy is absolutely crushing it. Also an inner circle member of Jeremy Hayes, by the way. He, for example, features in Forbes, right? Most business owners don't wake up thinking about AI. Explain John Lee, founder of Acquisition AI, company that builds automation tools for small firms. They wake up thinking about customers' payroll and how to keep the lights on. AI only matches if it makes those things easier. Okay, so you see Jordan Lee literally in Forbes, business, news, tech, travel, magazine, right? Or Cody Sanchez over there, right? Wester, disruptive billion-dollar mind, founder of Contrarian Thinking. You know what massive authority this is when you have stuff like this on your page? When you literally have an image of you in Forbes or an interview with a well-known podcast or whatever, or I don't know, like journalist channel on your website. This third-party profit is not to underestimate because you're taking authority that people know and apply them to your own offer, okay? You can even include third-party validation of the opportunity that you're selling. This is mainly then for the VSL or for your webinar. For example, John Lee, again, used this a lot. Then Video CEO just made a world prediction. AI will create more millionaires in 5 years than the internet did in 20. And obviously, this is what Jordan Lee is teaching, right? AI. So remember, use personal, client, and third-party proof and talk about above average and worst case scenarios as well. Try to cover as many different demographics as possible. Why do I say worst case scenarios? A lot of people care about how much can I get fucked from buying your program, right? Sure, they care about the best wins. Sure, they care about the dream life that they can get, but they also care about what can actually go wrong. Is there someone that failed maybe and didn't get the dream outcome, but maybe they still were profitable? They made their investment back. They learned a lot. They're kind of scaling right now, maybe not that fast, but you know what I'm saying. You want to include this as well. This makes you feel authentic. Now, very important thing is the lead magnet. As you can see, we've got a wonderful lead magnet over there, free gift, profitable product playbook. And maybe you haven't seen this on so many webinar landing pages yet. There's a reason why we do this. Okay, and then we have a nice AI generated image over there, right? Okay, so as you can see, we use lead magnets to increase our overall landing page conversion rate, especially when running a warm promo. And this is important for you guys who currently have an email list, you have a good following on Instagram or YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, whatever, and you're looking to run warm promo. Lead magnets are perfect to get people off the fence. We then create posts, story sequences, reels above this exact lead magnet to activate more, a higher percentage of our already warm audience to sign up for the webinar. And this leverages the reciprocity principle, right? I'm getting something from you, aka the lead magnet. I'm giving you something back, might show up or buying your offer. Leads are more likely to show up because they received something extremely valuable. This is important. Make sure it's valuable completely for free. Lead magnets, this is important. This is why I'm saying be careful with lead magnets. Might also attract tire kickers and brokies who are just looking for a free goodie over there, right? So be careful about leveraging it too much in your ads. When you're running ads, don't go too heavy on the lead magnet. It will attract lower quality leads if you incentivize something like free, for free, right? This attracts this brokey messaging that we don't want in our funnel. So lead magnets always solve one branch of the main thing, okay? And I want you to think about this. When I have my Amazon business, for example, right? What branches could be there, right? There could be the suppliers as one branch, products as another branch, automation as another branch. And then my lead magnet solves one branch of the main thing. Obviously, also only partially. For example, product research. And as you can see, what is our lead magnet? The profitable product playbook, okay? So the lead magnet must look premium. It must contain massive value. And the better the lead magnets, the better it looks, the more people will get hyped about what you're going to teach on the workshop, the higher your show-up rates will be. So make sure the lead magnet is dialed in. We create lead magnets like this that you can see down there with the help of Google's AI tool in minutes, okay? So as you can see, we have the supplier shortcut strategy, right? A step-by-step guide to finding, vetting, and securing wholesale suppliers. You see how this looks? You see how this looks, guys? And it's actually valuable content. Smart Scout is a tool to find suppliers. Keeper, analyze your price history. CRM seeds, track leads. Google, locate websites. Finding the niche, look where others don't buy. Avoid the sexy, borrowing products, all the best. Search for suppliers near or your prep center to save freight. Search marine rust remover, not just cleaning products, be specific, right? Filtering brands, we show them how to filter for revenue. This is the revenue we want. We want minimum 4 sellers. We want maximum. You see, guys, how sick this looks, and that it actually contains very valuable content for someone who's looking to start. Over there, targeting brands, reverse search, authorized proof. And this is like, it goes 20 slides like this, and this is just one small part of a lead magnet. And we have got thousands of these lead magnets because we create them with AI, with a very, very specialized method. And I've taught you earlier on this channel how to do it with Menace, but there's a way easier method right now using Google's AI, one of Google's AI tools. So DM me Google on Instagram right now. Click on my Instagram account, leave me a follow. I would highly appreciate it. DM me Google, and I send you the full lead magnet creation guide. I will show you the tool that we use. I will show you the prompts that we use and the design instructions. And I will show you how this will actually make sense, how the content will make sense for your very own offer. This is a very specialized way to create lead magnets. I will send you the entire guide, literally everything you need to create lead magnets like this in 5 minutes. Really in 5 minutes, okay? When you DM me Google on Instagram. And also, by the way, if you find this video helpful, we are not done yet. We're still at pillar number 1, funnel architecture, right? And I will run you through a lot of different stuff very, very soon. If you found this video helpful, by the way, we guys help you implement all this stuff completely done for you. Everything what I'm teaching right now will be done by us. If you decide to partner with us, we're looking for long-term partners within our agency. And we don't only run webinars, we also do content marketing strategies, content ad strategies, VSL funnels, onboarding automation, sales team management, literally every single thing that you can think of, right? So if you like this video right now and you're looking for an acceleration to this journey, then feel free to book a call with me on growinginfo.com or DM me on Instagram if you're looking for anything specific, right? Pleasure to help you guys. So let's move forward with the video. Again, lead magnets are especially effective when they're doing one promo. Be careful with using ads and make it look absolutely stunning to foster lead intention. And yeah, guys, this is everything that you need to know about our landing page, about the front end of our funnel. Now let's move to the back end. So between this and this page, what happens is the registration, okay? And then after someone basically registers, he hits our confirmation page, as you can see over there. This is the exact confirmation page that we use right now for webinars. It still continues over there, but well, these are the most important steps. So the confirmation page is designed to increase your show up rates and to make sure leads show up nurtured to your webinar. Okay, our confirmation page is our backend, and basically it's part of the backend selling system, which is designed to increase our show up rates. And the very, very important thing, if you can just double your show up rates, you will double your revenue. Keep this in mind. So most confirmation page mess this completely up. They start with something like, when someone hits this page, stop, do not leave. Do not close this page. You're not done yet. Wait. You need to confirm your registration. If your confirmation page sounds like this, you do not understand the fundamentals of customer psychology. Okay. And I'm sorry to say that, but we just want to help you make more money, right? So let's be honest. Leads just took your desired action. They registered. But the first thing you do is instantly create panic, anxiety, and nervousness, right? Do not leave, stop. And they're like, well, hell, what's happening here on this page? I thought I just registered for the workshop. So humans need affirmation. Confirm and affirm their behavior first to make them way more open to new information. When we look at a study of self or in general affirmation in the brain, we see Affirmation activated the brain's reward system, dopamine, right? The ventral striatum and the ventral medial prefrontal cortex, the thing that makes us human and fosters our intelligence, right? So affirmation makes people feel rewarded and reinforces their decisions. They just thought they took a good decision, and because they thought they took a good decision, they're way more open to new information. They're way more open to actually reinforce their decision by showing up to your workshop. Okay. So this is why our thank you page headline is, well done. Oh, there, you took action. Congratulations. You just you registered. Watch the video below to get the best results on the workshop. Okay. Not something like, watch the video below to confirm your spot. No. What do you want? You want to see the best results, right? Watch the video and you learn how. Okay. Do not be selfish. Well, this kind of marketing, I get it, guys. I'm not super like, we've used it before, but this is selfish marketing. Okay. And this is customer oriented marketing. So when you tell them to watch the video for the best results, they will be very likely to do so because they want to get the best results. And on the video, we use something called the due diligence framework. When you think about due diligence, which is basically companies testing if other companies are worth buying and investing to, then they check the registered office, the negative reporting, red flags, sanction list, results, and balances. Okay. And we want them to do the due diligence, check all the different stuff with our very own offer. This is, by the way, a Jeremy Haynes framework that I'm using here, right? So we congratulate them on registering. We acknowledge they might be skeptical, because there's a lot of bullshit out there. And we say, hey, I understand you. I understand that you're skeptical. And then we emphasize that our job is to help them to do their due diligence before the workshop, to be as well informed as possible before they show up. Okay, so we emphasize that we send them information on social media, via email, WhatsApp, and PDFs to help them see the best results with what they will learn. And then we CTA them to scroll down on this page and watch the breakout videos, since their due diligence starts right there on this page with the breakout videos. Okay, so remember, the thank you page isn't designed to scare leads away. Leads we lead with affirmation and understanding of their situation first, and then only then we introduce new information. So our WhatsApp nurturing group that you can see over there, which is another thing right over here. Our WhatsApp nurturing group contains our lead magnet, as you can see over there. Your profitable product is waiting for you. Join the WhatsApp group. And this is where we will then send them a bunch of reminders, long-form assets, nurturing, YouTube videos, every single thing, which we're going to talk about in a bit in the reminders section. Okay. Now, the WhatsApp group is crucial because it's a pre-nurturing asset that helps a lot with assessing lead quality through polls and value-based reminders, right? And then we use something like Labnol, which is a page where you can create an add to calendar link. We fill in our event title over here, our event location, which is a webinar jam link, event description. We select the right time zone, very important here, time shift in the US just recently, and Europe as well. So yeah, okay, this helps us increase our sharp rate through an additional reminder mechanism, because I personally always see this reminder thing pop up from my calendar, and I'm way more likely to react to something like this than to an email, for example, okay? Even than to an SMS. The FAQs are crucial and aligned with the due diligence framework. Yeah, the FAQ videos that you can see over there, they are very, very crucial. Like, they're probably one of the most important things on this entire page. So I'm even thinking about putting them here. Okay, the FAQ videos are making this section maybe a bit smaller. You always see when reviewing my funnels, I always come to new decisions. So the FAQ videos follow the due diligence framework through first layer questions, which is basically, these are the 4 quadrants of content that we want to target with our FAQ videos. It's first layer questions, questions that people might have about this business model. Second layer questions, questions that arise from the first layer questions, something like, what's this business model? How does it work? Yeah, we fulfill demands on Amazon. And then second layer question might be, okay, what products do you sell to fulfill this demand? Expectations, what can I expect? How soon can I see results? Whatever, right? How much will I on average make in my first month? What are objections? Is this live? Are you legit? Will it work for me? Isn't Amazon saturated? And so on. And then we write specific workshop related FAQ videos that handle main objections and questions regarding the workshop. So is this live? What happens if I don't show up? Will you try to sell me something? And as you can see over there, is this live? Workshop. This is a workshop registration page, okay? What if I can't make the workshop? I got burned before. Will this work? Will you try to sell me something on the workshop? And then we have some more general videos. Isn't Amazon saturated? Can I do this without any skills? Why should you trust me? How much does this actually take? Okay. So remember, people no show for a reason. This is what you need to understand in general with backend selling and show up rates. People no show for a reason. Yeah, they maybe couldn't make it because they had an important appointment coming up. But if the appointment isn't that important, for example, and they preferred another option, whether that's meeting a friend, registering for another workshop, or just sitting on the couch and watching Netflix instead of registering and showing up for your workshop because you didn't sell them on showing up, because you failed in providing them well. We take absolute responsibility for everything that we do. So handle all of these objections in your breakout videos to maximize show-ups. And this is funnel architecture, my friends. This is the exact funnel system that you should have in place. And I think right now you should have a very, very good understanding of how you can implement this and tailor it to your very own offer too. Okay. Now, the next very important step for webinars, and this is maybe something a lot of you are excited for, are fast tracks, one-time offers, VIP tiers, order bumps. Okay. And this is the second confirmation page that we could send leads to when we run an order bump. And I will run you through the order bump right now, why it matters, what it is. So I call it the fast track. There's a reason for that, right? And as you can see over there, currently no video in there. Still implementing it for this client, changing the video, by the way, as well, because we're always updating our best practices. And as you can see, we've got our one-time offer, deliverables, CTA. We've also done a sticky CTA, and then again, some sharp rate best practices. And a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful offer. By the way, the price over here is wrong. We upped it to $97. But yeah, okay. With a lot of deliverables in the nice image. So essentially the fast track or the VIP offer is a one-time offer designed to liquidate ad spend upfront and condition your pixel. So in plain English, we want to attract buyers that help us collect money that we can then reinvest into scaling before the webinar even happens. And are more likely to convert on the webinar because they already took action, they already are committed. So the theory is buyers of a low ticket offer will be way more committed to actually buy the high ticket offer that's being pitched on the webinar because they already pulled out a credit card. But very, very important. This only happens, this only works if the low ticket offer is actually relevant and priced and positioned correctly. So what we guys do, we position it as a fast track. As a very logical fast track. When we think about airports, right, we have these fast tracks over there. Okay. Fast security check, for example, business class. Now, why do people buy a fast track at the airport? An upsell. Okay. It's an upsell to their general ticket because they want to accelerate their desired outcome, which is getting to their destination, and be free of the pain of waiting long security checks, standing on the feet for a long time, and potentially missing their flight. Okay, this one here in German, as you can see, wow, this is without the fast track, and this is with the fast track. Seems pretty chill to get the fast track, right? So the fast track is a logical upsell that helps accelerate desired outcomes. And the workshop fast track is exactly the same. We frame it as an accelerator that helps implementing what they will learn on the workshop. So the fast track must be workshop related, meaning it should relate to certain parts of the workshop agenda. Okay, so for example, over there, our workshop agenda is business model, product, and supplier, right? And what can you see in this the fast track? Amazon wholesale A to Z ebook. Okay, business model, supply, shortcut, supplier, product, a product research guide, and then some a private one-on-one implementation call and a group coaching sessions. So we cover every main point of a workshop agenda with our fast track offer, positioning it as a logical upsell that aligns with the workshop messaging. We include recorded group coaching sessions and a one-on-one implementation call after the workshop, okay, to make it even more valuable. And leads will then have a one-on-one call with our setters who will map out their first months of implementing this and try to upsell them on the workshop offer if they didn't buy yet. However, you can definitely do it with setters. It's a great way. It obviously requires more capacity, so make sure you sell on your workshop offer because it's a lot of value, right? 27. When we would sell it for $27 for a one-on-one call with one of the setters, a lot of value. However, keep in mind it's an upsell call. So our goal there is to basically provide some value and then upsell them. Or you could also do this with an FAQ session or group upsell session where you as the founder or your head coach takes all of the leads and tries to upsell them on the offer after handling some of their objections. Now then we use value stacks. So we summarize all the different deliverables and then answer down to a one-time offer price, right? So value of all the deliverables. I know a lot of people don't like to do value stacks. We still do. And we apply urgency over there to foster action because leads won't act if they don't have a deadline. Remember, the fast track offer must represent an acceleration of the results that they will see on the workshop and solve pain and risks or uncertainty and not taking action. As you can see, we've got all of our fast track deliverables over there, right? Summarizing them there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Total value today only for $97. Okay. Now, very important thing. The thank you VSL that we have here on this page generally follows the due diligence best practices and affirms our lead's decision. And then it positions the fast track as a non-selfish offer that arose because of the gap between learning and implementation. Okay, so it makes sense, right? In the workshop, you will learn a lot. A lot of people struggle to implement this. This is what I see on workshop, what actually happens. Now, I've designed the fast track to help you implement what you've done, and it's actually quite cheap. So the thank you VSL is one of the most important assets that you essentially want to have on this page. So make sure it's dialed in. I just want to run you through one of our thank you VSLs real quick. So for example, it starts with massive congratulations on registering for the remote sales workshop. Affirmation. Most people see an opportunity like this and said, you took action. Affirmation on the workshop, and then kind of like, what's going on? Okay, we exciting them a bit. I'm breaking down how the industry works, how to find roles, how to perform your once you land a role. Okay, completely for free. We emphasize that the workshop is for free. Okay, so they know kind of like, do I have to buy right now? What's going on? Now, if you're sitting there thinking this sounds too good to be true, that's actually right instinct. We relate with them being skeptical. So my job between now and the workshop is to give you as much information so you can do your own due diligence. Watch your inbox, your WhatsApp, your socials. I'll be sending everything you need to be as well informed as possible. We connect our reminders with why, with a reason why we're doing that. A non-selfish reason. In our point, obviously it's selfish because we want people to show up, right? Now look, I've run enough of these workshops to notice one pattern. People show up, learn a lot, get excited, and then most of them do nothing because there's a gap between learning something and actually implementing it. So I put together something specifically to close that gap. It's called the Remote Sales Fast Track, and here's what you get. Then zero to commission roadmap. Then we align what it is, read this, and you will follow along on a completely different level. Master niche list, the exact system my students use, 30-day action plan, right? We even have an action plan as a deliverable over there, designed to help you see the fastest results and land your first high-paying role. Group coaching, 2 hours of unfiltered live coaching skills straight from my paid program, makes it feel exclusive. This one will save you months, exactly how you do XYZ. I walked through my exact formula. You get a private implementation call, how to apply everything to your situation. That's the fast track, and it's the best way to actually do something with what you will learn at the workshop. Scroll down on this page and click to upgrade to fast track to grab it now at a discounted price. And again, urgency. Whether you grab it or not, show up to the workshop ready, block the time with questions, and the people who get the best results aren't the ones with the most information. They're actually the guys who implement it. See you there. You see, it's a very logical upsell. Now, the price of the low ticket offer is one of the most important things. It determines your lead quality. It determines your average order value. It determines how much you can reinvest. It determines the overall likelihood to convert of the leads to convert on the backend high ticket webinar offer. So we want to optimize for high ticket buyers, obviously. Our goal with a webinar isn't to sell this low ticket offer. It's to sell our backend offer, right? But our low ticket offer can help us with this by getting higher quality leads who will be more likely to convert by reinvesting through liquidating a bit of our ad spend, right? But that's why pricing the offer at $27, as we did before, we did this, by the way, makes absolutely no sense because it will attract lower quality leads, right? Think about this. Who's willing to buy $27 off? Well, someone who doesn't want to invest that much money. $27 isn't that much. A lot of people can buy this, right? And it will make our future upsells way more difficult because it's a very cheap offer. Leads who laid on $97, for example, are way more likely to buy a 5K offer. First of all, the ensuring is lower, and then leads who only paid for $27 for the same value might think, why should I even lay down 5K? I already got everything, right? Now, the ensuring effect in a nutshell is when we try to upsell from $29 to $199, it will be way more difficult. But when we try to upsell from $99 to $199, it will be easier, okay? And this is what we do. And again, it also determines our lead quality because Meta will then target leads who are more likely to buy a $97 offer instead of a $27 offer because we report this data back to our pixel. Okay, and then we also include some SureOperate best practices, such as the WhatsApp nurturing group or the calendar link over there. Now, leads who don't buy can click on, no, I don't want to upgrade to Fast Track, and then we send them to a normal registered page. Remember, select a price between $79 and $197 for the OTO to attract the highest lead quality and open paths for upsells on the actual webinar, which is the goal of your campaign. Now, the technical implementation, budget calculation inside of the Meta Ads Manager would be, you want to set up a lead campaign. This is how we do it right now. With 70% of the budget, which optimizes for registrations only. And then you want to have a purchase campaign, which optimizes for OTO buyers with 30% of the budget, okay? And these different standard events, such as lead, complete registration, or purchase, help us target a broader audience through our messaging. So our messaging basically determines a certain audience, right? Now, our standard event lets us select a certain type of these audience. So for example, our complete registration event, which is what we use for webinars, taps into this audience. Our lead event into this audience. And the purchase went into this audience. So we basically get a new pool of fresh leads. And we can target more people through launching different campaigns, okay? So whenever a lead hits our Fast Track confirm page, we send back the purchase event with the dollar value. This helps Meta optimize for people that buy for this exact price. Now again, when I sell a $27 offer, I report back the $27 value. This will help Meta optimize for people who buy a low offer. But when I sell a $97 offer, this will tell Meta to optimize for people who actually buy a higher priced offer. You see, that's why the price selection matters that much. Ideally, also implement the server-side integration through the Conversions API on your server host. This might be a bit too technical for this video, but essentially we want to have the Conversions API as well on our place, especially for purchase events. And then we put both events back through our Conversions API at a pixel, and we have automatic event duplication pages. Now, this is the Fast Track, okay? And this is a very, very powerful tool to increase your lead quality and increase the overall revenue with your webinars and make your webinars scale way more predictably because you're already ideally breaking even through the low ticket offer, right? If you do it correctly. Now, with that being said, we've got our funnel set up, we've got our OTO set up. So all that is left right now is the presentation, right? The main big thing. And again, the webinar is the heart of the entire webinar funnel. Yet too many webinars that I've audited, well, literally people came to me and like kind of wanted my review on the webinars, were horrible. Most people think they need to sell what, but not the how. Okay, this is what I hear online. Yeah, sell the what, sell the what, sell the what. But they don't seem to think about this, right? Which is why the webinar looks like a massive 2-hour pitch. And the value section is kind of stuff that I could have put into ChatGPT, and ChatGPT could have given me a better summary of this than your webinar, right? So why should I even show up? So in the webinars, we want to sell the what and some parts of the how, meaning we share immense value in the training section. The training section, this is my approach for running webinars, is the main focus of our webinar. Okay, that's how our webinars are consistently hitting 85% retention rates, as you can see over there, because the training is insanely valuable. And we're getting 15 to 20% book call rates of the leads that got pitched because the training section excites them for more. They see us putting down insane value in the webinar, and they get excited for buying our offer because I think, well, if the free workshop is so good, what will be in the offer? And if your offer isn't the absolute bullshit that isn't worth selling, okay, if your offer is absolute bullshit, then your training section might summarize everything that your offer is about. But in most of the cases, when you have a decent offer, you don't need to care about, oh, I don't want to lay down all the value for free. How do you want to lay down a value of a 5K or 10K offer in a 2-hour presentation with a 1-hour training section? That's not possible if you're selling a good offer, okay? So again, to focus on the training section, this is what I want to say. Now, here's the exact framework that we've used for dozens of our webinars, okay? And this is the exact framework that we've also used for a flagship webinar, which has generated us $167,000 in revenue. Now, we always start with a hook, okay? And this hook must be a pattern interrupt and something unexpected that still aligns with the overall workshop theme. So people who registered have very been likely on other webinars. We on average, by the way, we see that people watch 2 to 3 webinars until they convert. Even our webinars, right? So maybe they've watched 5 webinars in their entire life, in their entire customer journey. So they're tired of boring openers like, welcome, what's your name, where are you from, today you will learn, blah, 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 right? The hook sets the expectations for the rest of the workshop. So better make sure it's good and exciting. So we have the foot in door hook. This is kind of like the, yeah, I've got balls hook, right? Okay, this one over there, for example, for fitness offer. I've helped 2,500, this is literally how the workshop starts. I've helped 2,500 men build a physique they never believed possible. By the end of this workshop, it will be 2,000 plus you. This is our hook. This is like literally full authority, okay? And then we see all the different presentations, transformations in there. So it leads with massive authority and proof first, and then goes straight to the point and straight to the dream outcome. I love this hook because it's so simple and very, very effective. Then we have the DeLorean hook. Kind of, have you ever wished you could go back in the future? Well, I've got good news for you. This is your time machine. Barely anyone is doing this yet. This opportunity is like buying Bitcoin in 2010 or Tesla in 2018. And you see the DeLorean over there, right? So this hook is the absolute pattern interrupt. It associates our opportunity with past opportunities like Bitcoin, Tesla, whatever, that leads would have loved to get into. And it creates FOMO and kind of frames the workshop as something big and new, okay? Now, this is the hook. Next thing after the hook is our industry, or our opportunity, similar to the VSL framework. So we intentionally targeting less aware leads with our webinar, which is why we need to break down the industry first. When you go more in market, you don't need to do this necessarily. A lot of webinars directly dive into the pillars and sub-mechanisms, frameworks, but completely skip explaining the opportunity or the business model. Especially when you target less aware leads, this is very important. And this is where we want to go hard on the big and new emotion, okay? We want to show proof, third-party proof, diagrams, statistics, everything that proves why this opportunity is so important for leads and why they should care. We also want to break down the business model, the main mechanisms in simple words, what is this and why it does matter, okay? This works insanely well with the DeLorean hook. We just came from this opportunity is like buying Bitcoin in 2010, and then we explain why. For example, over there, let the numbers talk. Since COVID, the e-commerce industry has been growing exponentially, leading to $8.3 trillion. And then we have proof over there, right? Most people are buying online every single year, internet sales. And then we explain the Amazon wholesale opportunity. You're fulfilling everyday products, wholesale products that people are buying in the millions. Okay, you're not inventing products. This is throwing rocks at enemies. And we're building a Walmart on Amazon. We're kind of leveraging the authority that Walmart has in the massive demand and reframe it to Amazon. $1 billion company handles every single step to the front. This is explaining the opportunity. For example, over here with sales, we are even associating this to past events using borrowed authority. Everything humans have achieved has relied on sales, kind of like Greek history, or maybe this is Alexander the Great, I think even. Politicians sell you visions of the future. Generals, I think this is Napoleon, right? Sell the idea of glory and victory. Poets sell emotions, right? And we have Pablo Picasso over there, right? Now, obviously, this is literally breaking down the opportunity, and we're kind of leveraging borrowed authority to sell this opportunity. So we put our main vehicle in the lines of famous and successful people, and people will then associate their authority with what we are teaching. Now, once you've broken down the industry, you transition to pain. And pain is essentially, under the sentence, you need to wake them up from the nightmare before you can sell them the dream. So people register for your workshop for a reason. Something in their life and their business or etc is off, and they're looking for a solution to their problem. So you need to remind them of why they actually registered and relate to what's actually causing them pain right now. Important, do not blame, right? Blame the circumstances, the vehicle. Frame their situation as natural because they didn't have access to the right type of information. And be very, very specific. Make it visual. Paint a movie in their head, right? Fitness offer. I know a lot of you can't train 7 days a week. You're working 50 hours a week. That sucks your energy out of you. And then the next image is just this image, right? And a lot of people really relate with this person. You get no energy left for your partners, for your kids, protection of loved ones, sexual companionship, for your gym. This is kind of probably be social approval, right? Or over there, we're talking to different personas and their pain points. Now, from talking to you, I know most of you feel stuck trading your time for money. You feel like you have no control over your schedules, and you're worried about having a safety net for your family's future. Again, we're talking to the 8 main desires. Loved ones, fear, right? Some of you have already started selling, and maybe you paid a guru for a course that didn't deliver. You're looking to build an extra income by following a business model that works. To have, why do you want this? Support your loved ones, take more vacation, whatever your goal might be, right? So we want to relate to all the different pain points and persona types that have attended, and we want to be very, very, very specific about describing their situation and use very specific visual words these guys resonate with. And then after we woke them up from the nightmare, we sell them the dream through future pacing, okay? We sell them the solution and dream compared to their current state. We kind of frame this as the light at the end of the tunnel. And the tunnel is a workshop and the offer that gets them there. So we use student proof and personal proof here to back it up. This is how me and my students live right now. We were in the exact same situations, okay? We want to remember them what their desired outcome is, especially one of the 8 natural desires, right? We paint a movie in their head, how their life would look, what they would see, hear, smell, think when they had success with what you're teaching. Be extremely detailed, okay? This is again pain. You stuck trading hours. We have literally like kind of this red image over there, how a lot of people might feel in the system right now, which is unfortunately facts. Some of you are stuck in hospitality again, dealing with rude managers, impatient customers, missing weekends while other people have fun. Do you see how detailed we get when someone works in hospitality? I know this because I've worked there myself. You're obviously going to miss weekends with friends. But because you're working when others are outside, right? Or you have these impatient customers who really are kind of like, shut up, man. I don't want to talk to you, man. Hey, why do you treat me like shit, right? And then relating this to a student who was in the exact same situation, was very skeptical. You're referring to an objection. Oh, he thought it was just a scam. But then within months of hard work, training, dedication, he changed his life completely. Choose to stop making 5 reasons why sales would work for him, right? Or over here, before or after pacing. Here's what you get: vitality, recovery, drive, money, confidence. And we just use images. We are absolutely visual with this, right? After, like, this is the image, the slide that we use exactly after this slide here, right? And you see how different it is seeing someone like this. And this is exactly what happened to me. I was in the same situation. And then we show him before. Relatability. This is where a lot of my students started. Now imagine what having a profitable Amazon business could feel like. Being present when your family needs you, loved ones, paying off your mortgage faster, college for kids, loved ones, financial breathing room, comfort. Would it be worth investing your time in it? This question, right? If so, stay with me for the next 60 minutes. Okay, keep watching. So let me ask you this. If you were able to start an Amazon wholesale business, what would your monthly income would be? We want to imagine, paint this image, this movie in their brain, okay? Now, once we've done this, we're exciting them. Yeah, this is exactly what you're going to learn in the workshop, okay? So the workshop is the solution for getting this kind of life they want. We excite them and tease them about what they're going to learn today and why it matters. We reiterate the 3 pillars and apply them to their dream outcome. These pillars will help them get closer to what they actually want, okay? And we even tease parts of the offer, especially lead magnets, that help ease the pain of implementation of some of these pillars. So for example, you could right now go out there and try to hire your own developers for an AI automation or app offer. But by the end of this workshop, I will show you how to get access to my personal pool of 800 vetted software devs, right? Developers. So this is essentially teases them. They like, oh, this guy mentioned the 800 software devs. When are they? Well, I will stay until the workshop to find out, right? Excitement is key. And this part should be a very, very good movie trailer, right? And it should be like a movie trailer and be reiterated on every single subchapter. So you kind of want to excite them with every single pillar, excite them what they will learn in this pillar. Then the next pillar, excite them again, tease, make it like a trailer. For example, the 5-step wholesale system I will be walking you through. We have 5 pillars, by the way, for this one client. By the end of this masterclass, then we have the agenda section that we took from our landing page, right? This is messaging congruency, guys. They saw this before, okay? Interacts with future pacing. I show you the blueprint to dream physique, what you want, the confidence, what you want, status, right? Life at full potential, feeling fulfilled. And then a free lead magnet at the end. Everyone who stays until the end gets my templates for free, okay? I will show you the exact sales kit every performing closer news. I will show you how to land high-paying roles and how I can provide you 600 opportunities every single month, okay? This is, again, excitement of the offer that we will sell at the end. Okay, now once we've excited them, it's time for commitment. We want to achieve something called the yes letter. Say yes, right? Where we step by step get our leads to commit more and more. We get your commitment and we want to get them typing yes to indoctrinate the thought that this presentation was valuable for them and to make sure they're on the right page, right? We also want to take advantage of the fact that webinars are live ones. So what we see in our webinars is that a lot of people forget that a webinar is actually a live event and they think it's pre-recorded. Like literally we have thousands of people asking us, is it pre-recorded? Okay. So this helps the chat stay active. They feel like they participate rather than watching a pre-recorded video, and it raises their attention level. It also gives us the opportunity to call out names in the chat when they type yes or their answer to prove that it's live and build rapport with this exact person through calling out their name. So we want to accumulate commitment across the entire presentation so that by the time of the offer, buying seems like a logical decision. We have our transition to pitch, for example, over there, right? This would be a transition to pitch commitment shortly before the pitch. Do you feel that now, after learning about these 3 pillars, you're in a better position to land your first role? Yes or no? What are the first things that you would do if you had success with remote sales? Buy a new car, go on vacation, support your family, right? We make them commit to their goals and desires here. They will visually imagine what they would do if they succeeded with what we're teaching them and why they would do it, okay? We're painting this movie in their heads, this desire. So give me a yes. This is pre-training commitment. Give me yes if you're excited to learn and then implement everything I'm going to teach you. Type yes in the chat if you're ready to learn. Into training commitment. This is after every single pillar. Can you see why having the right business setup matters a lot, right? Again, we teased it over here. Set up your business store. Then, do you see how important it is to have the right tools to find suppliers? Can you see how data-driven product solution? Do you understand how important it is to have a repeatable system like this? Do you understand, guys? Do you understand why having commitments in your webinars is so important? Drop in the chat. Cool. We're on the same page. Now, next thing is the training. And again, guys, this training is the heart of your webinar. I unfortunately can't help you with writing an appealing training section because this must be value dense, teaching your mechanism. I can just help you frame it correctly, okay? So make sure it's absolutely valuable. It contains everything that's important for you. Webinar. So when I write a training section for clients, I have kind of a certain method to do it, which I won't reveal because it's, yeah, no, not for free on YouTube, guys. But essentially, obviously, I'm writing kind of like 3-4 webinars a month sometimes. And I'm not always the expert in this business model, but there are methods to become the expert very fast and using the exact same frameworks that our client is teaching. Okay, so I always want to make sure and master this before I write a webinar because I want to teach people, maybe even people who have some experience with this. Okay, make it something like an A to Z guide on YouTube that you would normally load up. This is kind of a good framework to think about a training section. It should be something like a 3-hour A to Z guide condensed in 1 hour. Leads must have this aha moments every 5 minutes during the training. You want them asking them in the chat, is there a replay? For example, this video right now about webinars could be something like it's maybe too value dense and too much value focused, but it could be a good training section, condensed, right? You want to ask them in the chat, is there a replay? Because you lay down too much information, you don't want to lose this. The training section must be tailored to the awareness level of your audience. Okay, very important. The biggest mistake is to write a beginner's webinar to a rather warm or in-market audience who wants advanced strategies. They will say, why are you bullshitting me with this beginner shit? I want advanced strategies. Okay, we use 3 main pillars and start each pillar with why it matters, what it is, what happens without it, and why they should care. The so what moment, very important. And then how they can implement it. We basically pre-tease our pillars, as I said before, and then we show them the value. And then we deliver proof after this and the commitment question. We have interactive training elements. For example, with different answers to the objections in the sales training, I need to think about it. Okay, answer 1, this. I need to think about it. Answer 2, which one do you think is the right one? It's obviously A. Let me know in the chat. Okay, we interact with them. We have the pillar framework. Without this, again, without this, will you be stuck in retail arbitrage, driving from store to store, buying from liquidators. Okay, you will work your ass off for a few bucks. Getting this right, why it matters, helps you access to a product at a price that makes you more profit. You get a consistent supply, you get a documentation. This separates you from 90%. Status. Brand direct accounts are about building what it is. Okay. And then how do we implement this? And then we screen share. Okay. Screen share components are instant authority because you're going off script and you're showing something. Now, obviously, you can plan the screen share, but yeah, it helps you speed run through this software, speed run through this software. I will go live. And then he screen shares, comes back after 5 to 10 minutes. Okay. And people are like, oh, nice. Because obviously, a webinar presentation is just a slide, right? It's not the actual business model. So we want to screen share to softwares, whatever matters. Okay. And then we have something called the transition to pitch. So after a quick recap of what they've learned completely for free, we present them something called a crossroad option. Okay, this one. We say that now they can either go out there on their own and try to make it work, or they will obviously take longer, waste more money, deal with serious hurdles. We try to increase their pain of doing it on their own, or they start working with us where we hold their hand through every step of the journey. And it's kind of, again, a fast track to the success. So we want to significantly increase the pain of doing it all on their own, and then explain that the offer that we're pitching arose of wanting to help people who started on their own just like we did and help them accelerate their journey, overcome all the hurdles for even cheaper costs than doing it on their own. And then we introduce massive student proof, ideally with more than 10 different testimonials. This is the time, right? We always want the pepper in student proof before, but this is the time where you go insane on student proof, because after this proof, you will pitch the offer, okay? And then we ask for a permission to pitch So it seems like they are asking us to present them our offer over here. If I have your permission to talk about this offer I've prepared for you, drop a yes in the chat. Then we see yes. And then he's like, oh, okay, let's talk about the offer, right? Good transition to not make it so awkward. Maybe for some of you, this might feel awkward. We had clients who didn't want to do this. Obviously, there are other options. Now, this is the crossword option. And then we literally show it like, that throughout my journey, I realized that most people didn't have the right systems on networking. This is for sales, right? You can by all means make it on your own. Most people never succeed if they try and implement everything we've just gone about. Then we pain of an action, not landing a job, take me weeks, hurdles, right? And then this is why I started my implementation program, because I knew most people were just 90 days away from that in a high paying role. Okay. And then we transition. And then we pitch. And the pitch is the second most important part of your webinar after the training. Do you see what I just done there? I excited you for the pitch. The foundation of the pitch is a good and high perceived value offer. High perceived value offer. I've got a full offer creation guide on this YouTube channel for all the new subscribers. You make sure to check it out. We always pitch the highest priced offer to you with all the different deliverables. And then we separate the deliverables into a core offer and 3 workshop bonuses. We want to have more than 6 different core deliverables and 6 different free workshop bonuses, even more. So every deliverable of my core offer, even modules in my course or whatever this might be, will be separated in there, okay? Because the more we have, the higher is the perceived value. Why? So you get this, 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 plus bonus for free, 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 discount. Guarantee, pitch again, okay? And when we follow the sales chain, we have our deliverables, and then we frame the advantages and the benefits. The biggest mistake that you can do is just naming the deliverable. Yeah, you get this, but you need to emphasize why it matters for them. Okay, we do not price drop for book and call webinars. We kind of qualify them with something like you need at least 4 figures USD to invest. And then we pitch after every significant deliverable or bonus. We name our bonus 1, then we pitch. Second bonus, can you see how valuable it is? We pitch. Third bonus, pitch, and we build based on that, okay? So as you can see over there, for example, we have our sales chain, live group coaching and mentorship, again, borrowed authority. You need to treat business like a competitive sport, Ronaldo, with this coach. I think this is the Portugal trainer, if I'm not completely wrong. Do you really think the best athletes don't have coaches? Which is why you have Rocky Balboa, absolute GOAT. 3 live group coaching calls, 2 weekly calls, okay, deliverables. So what would having this really mean for you? We hold your hand, you don't tap around in the dark, and so on. Discount guarantee, limited discount, 2-day, 7-day, no questions asked guarantee, okay? Why? Because we're very confident in getting you results. And this guarantee 7, obviously we only do guarantees if it's B2C, because B2B, it's kind of like awkward. If you're selling to rich people, they're like, hell yeah, you can't guarantee me results, but yeah. Free bonuses, for example, private recruiter job board, you get it for free. Let me show you my screen and show you how it looks like. This is very important, like just showing the deliverables if they are valuable. For example, the job board, he shows all the job points. They're from Jackson, for example. And then what do these bonuses read for me? Skip months of getting ignored, skip months of hunting for the right, avoid scammy roles, land a high-paying role. Can you see how valuable they are? And then pitch, okay? And this is what you want to do for every single deliverable. Now, you pitch again, you frame why it matters, you show some more student proof, then you transition to the FAQ and Q&A. And do not underestimate the power of the Q&A section, okay? This is where we see 15 to 20% of the bookings/conversions come in. A lot of people have objections that hold them back from buying, okay? If someone isn't buying, it's generally an objection. So our job is to directly address the most common objections in the FAQ session, where we handle 8 pre-written questions. Ideally, even with a student who joins the room and answer these questions together with the host. And we already mentioned the student before in the webinar. And then we pitch again after the Q&A. Then we transition to the open Q&A, where we open the chat and people can put in their questions, okay? And we answer their offer-related or most important questions there for around 20 to 30 minutes. This is where you can show your authority, go off script, and demonstrate that you know what you're talking to. When I would buy a product, I would love to stay until the end of a workshop, ask my questions until I buy and lay down 10K, for example, or book a call for laying down 10K. Always keep dropping the offer link in the chat, call out how many spots are left. You can even in Webinar Jam kind of lower the amount of available spots, apply an urgency timer to your offer section, right? And get them to book in or check out or whatever you're pitching, if it's direct to card or whatever, right? So open Q&A at the end, for example, over there. And over here, we have some common questions. Can I do this alongside 9 to 5, time constraint? Are there really enough businesses hiring salespeople, market saturation? If any of these reasons were the reasons you didn't join, now that I've answered, then click the link in the chat and join now, okay? Now, this is the framework that has generated us $367,000 with Webinar. This is the exact webinar framework I use for all of my clients, and essentially, basically, I obviously improve from webinar to webinar. So the new webinar framework that I'm using right now is kind of like making it very, just showing, being more visual with stuff like this, right? So there will always be updates, but this framework will work insanely well for you. Again, focus on the training section. Now, we've covered the funnel architecture, the OTO offer, the exact presentation that we use to get retention rates like this. Now it's important to talk about our ads. So how do we actually get people in there for our webinar? And again, I've got full ad guides on my channel, so we won't go too much in depth right now, but I will show you the exact implementation of our ads in the Ads Manager, what we use, why we choose, and who we target. Most important thing, our ads must align with the messaging that's used in the presentation or on the landing page. This is what we call messaging congruency. That's why we write our presentation first, then we tailor the landing pages to the messaging of the presentation. Okay, so we write this first, then landing page, what would people who see this presentation would love to see on the landing page before, and then we write the ads where we send them to the landing page. And we want to make sure the messaging stays congruent because we want to attract the ideal type of customer that would buy this offer that we're pitching from this webinar through our ads, okay? And this gives us a very good framework on how to write our ads and who to target based on the presentation. Now we reverse engineer, okay? And we have two different campaigns, a hammer them ad campaign and a direct response campaign, which is currently getting us insane costs, as you can see over there, okay, in different markets. Now, again, hammer them campaign optimizing for through plays and this one for webinar registrations. Now, we run a direct response and the hammer them campaign. The direct response ad campaign is optimizing. This is the direct response, means someone clicks on our ad, registers. Direct response, okay? This is a broad campaign, getting people to register for a webinar. Our direct response ads are optimizing for the standard event, complete registration or purchase when we do the OTO offer. So we choose the standard event because it attracts higher intent prospects than the lead event. I'm talking about a complete registration event, okay? Now, every single time someone hits a registered page, we fire the event complete registration back to Meta. And every single time someone hits a purchased page, we fire the event purchase back to Meta, including the purchase value. We do not use custom conversions that go under our own URL. We use standard events, since standard events allow us to access 56,000 plus data points per user that Meta collects on average. And when we don't use them, we don't have access to the entire pool of data that has been accumulated by advertisers who've been advertising and using this exact standard events earlier, because a custom conversion event means this is our own event hosted under our own website, will get us higher cost per leads and cost per results. So as you can see, a complete registration event taps into this entire pool of people who have completed registrations before, fishes in there. Our purchase event in another bucket with people who've purchased before based on the data points, even in similar niches and similar interests. And a custom conversion event, literally no real data it can leverage, okay? It still works. We've run a couple of webinars with custom conversion events before, but it's not that effective as standard events. And it just makes no sense to not go with the standard event. Then we use broad targeting because Meta retargets automatically when a user has interacted, okay? We don't use Instagram interactions, Facebook interactions with our direct response campaigns for our webinars, because we see better results when we go broad, since Meta already directly knows who has interacted, predicts the probability, and then automatically retargets leads with the post Andromeda update. Okay, this is a very important thing to understand. Our audience is determined through our standard event that we select, so complete registration or purchase, our messaging in our ads, and our audience selection, so whether we use interest tags or broad. Since we go broad and we don't select an audience, sure, we select a country and language, but not more, and the age. So what I would recommend you is not choosing an audience targeting. This means our messaging equals our targeting when we select a standard event, okay? This is especially why currently minority hooks, where we talk to a certain small persona group, especially in market leads, work very, very well nowadays, because we're calling out a minority in the market, and Meta is getting better and better at showing our ads to this certain personas, okay? So when we look at our hooks that we might have that convert customers, this is kind of our majority hook, majority hook, majority hooks. This small minority hooks over there that talk to a certain smaller percentage of the markets work pretty well with the post Andromeda update, because it allows us to leverage a lot of different centralized detailed values. Okay, because as I said, Meta has become a creative volume contest. The more creatives you can actually produce, the more it will reward you. And creative diversity mainly means the ad angle and the copy that you use, so what you're saying. The most important thing is what's being said, and this is because Meta knows that we all have access to a bunch of LLMs, large language models, right, which can write our ads. So this is why it wants to reward people and wants to deal and handle the massive volume that we have on Meta, on the advertising platforms, and basically reward these who leverage these tools in the right way. Now, our background, our B-roll, our editing, our outfit, the length, the format, statics, whatever, horizontal, vertical matters, but it's less important than the actual messaging and angle of the ad. Meaning, do not only change the hook, but the entire body of your ad copy for ideal creative diversity. Try to output at least 10 high quality ads a week. We launch ad sets with at least 25 to 30 different ads and counted 3 to 5 ads a week based on performance. Okay, so as you can see, this is our structure. We have a campaign with one ad set mainly, and then a bunch of ads in this ad set. Okay, now your messaging is everything. Okay, write excellent ad copy. Do not only trust in AI. We write most of our ads our own. We use AI for the ideation, and then we write them ourselves. And try to integrate the 8 main natural desires that I talked about a lot in this video in your ads. Write an ad that appeals to the sexual companionship angle, for example, and then I want to talk to the protection of loved ones, and then I want to comfort, and I want to pain, whatever. And use in-market messaging. Attract qualified and rich leads through the words you use. Again, we sometimes use needs convince messaging for webinars, but we still select qualified and rich lead message. Words and language. What words are only known in the industry when? What words would attract brokies? Money, million, fast. Be very intentful here. Use the ad metrics to value different angles for different personas and keep up your creative well. This is a great way to ideate ads. Basically, you write down your personas. Business owner could be here, corporate finance. This could be an Amazon seller, for example, for us, whatever you might be in. And then I go with the status angle, corporate finance angle, status angle for all these different personas, frustration angle, over here, loved ones angle, survival angle, happiness angle for all these different personas, right? Gives you a good framework. Now, obviously, there are a bunch of different angles that I can still use, and this ad metric should really be huge, okay? Now, with that being said, that's how we structure direct response campaigns. Now, as you have seen, we also have the Hammer Them ad campaign, and this is basically has one sole goal. We're showing these Hammer Them ads to people who've already registered. So after they see our direct response ads, they see our Hammer Them ads. And the only goal of this Hammer Them ads is to increase our sharp rate and the lead excitement level. So as you can see, we've seen some pretty insane sharp rates. This is for a cold webinar as well. This is for the one which has generated us $167,000. And Hammer Them ads are our main reason for the sharp rates. Since webinar are one-to-many events, people don't feel obligated to join. A lot don't do. Okay. That's why you need to run hammer them ads to remind them, and most importantly, deliver them insane value. Okay. Remind them why your content is so valuable and why they must prefer your webinar over watching, doing a movie night with the pub. Right? This value leads to something we call subtle selling. Leads will realize how valuable your free content is and will be more likely to show up to the workshop when you show it to them all the time. Okay. Now, our hammer them ads help our leads do their due diligence, right? So rule number one, they must be value dense. Okay. What I prefer, I don't do hammer them reminders, something like the workshop is in 24 hours. I do a lot of value. It's kind of subtle saying. It's kind of like, look what I'm laying down here on a free reel on Instagram. Why don't you show up to the workshop, right? So we write hammer them ads that target one of the main 4 quadrants of valuable content. So ads about client testimonials, timelines, business model explanations, biggest objections, and we want to make sure we write as many different angles and tackle all the different objections or prospects might have, right? These quadrants I was talking about earlier in the backend selling with the thank you page. Now, very important, you can also use client interviews, chop them together. You can use expert content where you talking at a stage where you at a podcast or whatever, chop them together, let your editor chop them together and you short from. Always like script. You could even run your FAQ videos that we were talking about here as hammer them ads. Okay. You could even run this video. I wouldn't probably not choose this video, but run these FAQ videos as hammer them ads, right? A lot of stuff you can do over there. Be creative and think about these 4 quadrants of content that you want to target, okay? Don't do weird nonsense content. Think about what questions might they have? What are their expectations? What are objections, okay? What do they want to know? So we want to have at least 25 to 35 different short form hammer them ads with 6 to 8 ads per content quadrant. And we want to have 15 to 20 different long form hammer them ads like podcasts, value dense YouTube videos, or client interviews. Okay. As you can see, we have 2 different campaigns. Now, some people need more information and are likely to watch a long form video, which is why we have long form hammer them ads to give them this density and kind of this profoundness of content. Others, however, prefer short form content, which is why we use different hammer them ads formats. Think about it. A person will have various objections keeping them from showing up. And we want to show them as many objection crossers as possible, which is why we use something like an audience exclusion, as you can see over here. So we use audience exclusions to, meaning everyone who watched a certain threshold of our videos, 3 seconds for a short form hammer them campaign, 10 seconds for a long form hammer them campaign per video, which then allows us to create a content cycle. So when someone has watched 3 seconds of one video, they will automatically get shown the other videos and they won't see this video again because we excluded them over there. And these are only people who have registered based on a URL. Okay. Meaning leads will see different ads with different angles and testimonials instead of the same ones. And this is important because, as I said, we want to show them as many different objections crushers as possible. And we generally see a frequency of around 15 to 20 for short form and 9 to 10 for long form content on our overall campaign, which means a person on average sees 15 to 20 different hammer them videos before showing up to a webinar, or generally sees that many videos and then decides to show up or not. So our hammer them campaign targets all leads that have registered for webinar. We generally dedicate 10% of our overall campaign budget towards the hammer them campaign. And when we see the frequency, this depends on our cost per through play. And when we see the frequency in our custom ads manager view decline, we want to ramp up the spend a bit, right? This happens generally when we have more people and they're higher cost per medic and so on. Now, with that being said, this is essentially how we structure ads. Again, I didn't dive too much into ad copy because I've got a bunch of YouTube videos on this. And obviously ad copy always depends on your goals, why you're writing copy, who you're talking to, your ideal customer, and their language. So this is something you need to master, or you start partnering with us. Again, book a call at growinginfo.com or reach out to me on Instagram where we can help you implement this. Now, last thing of this video is the reminder section. We will just cover this shortly. I've covered this in a lot of videos as well. And reminders are kind of self-explanatory. Most important thing, they must be value dense. If they are value reminders, so we mainly do a lot of value reminders and then kind of some just reminders where we just say them, yo, the webinar is in 24 hours or whatever. But when you do value dense reminders, which are the most important reminders, you want to target these 4 quadrants always, anywhere, okay? So again, reminders help us increase our show up rates even further. And we want to get as many times as possible in as many ways possible in front of our leads. This way, we take advantage of something we call the mere exposure effect, meaning the higher our exposure is, the higher our familiarity with the leads and the higher the likability, the more they will like us and the more they will actually like our content and like what we teach. So we have SMS reminders on the confirmation, day out, 2 hours out, 15 minutes out, exact time, 15 minutes after. We have a WhatsApp group or Telegram group with around 800 members. We have some webinars where we have various WhatsApp groups. You can only have 1,000 members in a WhatsApp group, by the way. We have the lead magnet in the description to increase the show up rate. WhatsApp gives it a personal touch because it's a native messenger. It can also be used as a community or marketing assets afterwards. We have a lot of nurture message, long form content, lots of polls to assess the lead quality. We ask them literally how much money they currently have to invest, do it a bit more subtle. Reminder videos, awareness level. We can assess their awareness level, for example, over there, where you add a new journey. I'm planning my product. I just started out. I already have my first brand, looking to grow my brand. This is for private label, by the way. Then we have CTAs to DM, the links. We drop the links real live, and so on. As you can see, a lot of you have started at the beginning. We promise you will learn a lot of stuff. We're exciting them, right? So that's essentially how the WhatsApp group works. Pretty similar stuff to the HMMS. We're just sending in a lot of YouTube videos, Kanban boards, PDF guides. And then we also have a WhatsApp direct message automation for some of our clients. We basically have WhatsApp integrated with Go High Level, and then we can send certain templates to your customers. For example, on confirmation, reminders take place tomorrow. The reminder play will start at 7 p.m. The masterclass is right now. Okay, helps a lot because they're getting a personal message, right? Now, this cost us $2K, by the way, on the webinar, which has generated $167,000 in revenue. And then we have our emails as well. We've seen some pretty nice engagement across our email campaigns, meaning they are actually written well and we've got good deliverability. So we generally do 15 to 20 value dense email reminders. You could even do more depending on your time out, how long your launch phase will be. We increase our frequency towards the end. We include sales assets again. This could be student interviews, long form videos. Use deep links, by the way, when you use YouTube videos. This will help you grow your this will basically help leads stay inside of the application, will help you grow your YouTube audience as well. We use personal transformations, gamma boards. We make them insanely well done. We focus on long form emails, by the way, and we focus on a lot of education and explaining stuff that we will teach on the webinar. So what we've seen that the click-through rates on emails are quite low, normally around 3 to 5% for cold leads, even lower sometimes. So we want to basically, when we sell a YouTube video, we want to put the YouTube video link in there, but we also want to write an entire email about the YouTube video because we don't want them to switch the platforms, because a lot of people are, for example, reading emails when they don't have headphones on, they can't listen to something. So generally, put a lot of context in the emails and make sure they're written well. And then we use ConvertKit for the highest deliverability. So we've tested GHL, domain warm-ups, Smart Lead, Beehive, every single tool you can think of. And these deliverabilities that we've seen over there even were in GHL. Absolutely sick. But essentially, ConvertKit is one of the best softwares that we can recommend you guys. We don't have an affiliate program, but yeah, just personal experience, better than Beehive, in my opinion. And huge tool to make sure your emails actually land in the inbox in the very first place. Again, an email flow could be confirmation, lead magnet focus email with the WhatsApp link, student wins, founder story, biggest mistakes. I would add, this is an old flow I created. I would add way more educational emails over there. What's the business model? What are the biggest mistakes of the business model? How long does it take to see results with the business model? What are the 30-day roadmap of getting started with the business model? Why is it such a big opportunity? This is some emails that will definitely add in there, because I just noticed recently that people care a lot about education actually, and not that much about a student proof first if they aren't sold on the business model. Okay, and then we have reminders, 2 hours out, 15 minutes out, exact time. and minutes. And I would add probably 5 more educational emails with the content I just talked about. And this is basically a reminder. It's nothing crazy. You just want to make sure the backend works, it's set up correctly. And obviously, very, very important thing are the H&M ads over there as well, because they see you on the platform where they actually found you, right? On Meta, on Instagram, on Facebook. And this is where they kind of pass most of the time. So I just want to recap real quick, guys. I've showed you every single thing today, how I've generated $367,000 with webinars from my clients in the last 3 months. Okay. I showed you the funnel architecture, the OTO offer, how we structure presentations, how we get our show up rates to 38% on cold traffic, and how we structure our reminders and our ads as well. Okay. And the tech setup. So literally every single thing that you need right now to absolutely crush it with your own webinar funnel. Again, webinars obviously come with a lot of work. I didn't show you the exact copy we use in our ads. I didn't show you the exact copy we use in our emails. I didn't show you the entire webinar presentation, which obviously is kind of a work of art and needs to work and make sense. A lot, way more stuff that I can cover here in this video, because this is something that we will follow for our clients. So if you found this video helpful, and you're looking for someone who can implement all this for you and who's already done this for clients and generated multiple 6 figures in the last months with this, feel free to book a call with me on my website, growinginfo.com. Reach out to me on Instagram, simon.asma. If you found this video helpful, if you are a new subscriber, I would appreciate a follow and a subscribe. This is everything that we talk about here on this channel: scaling, building your high-ticket business. We talk about VSLs, webinars, ads, every single thing that you need to scale your high-ticket business. Again, no matter if you're an agency owner, coach, SaaS, whatever, okay? And if you're a subscriber, I would appreciate a like on this video as well. Share it with some people who might want to run a webinar. And with this being said, guys, I see you on another banger video here on this channel.